Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community Podcast. I'm your host, Patrice Tsague. I'm here with my good friend, a brother from another mother, the legend, the man, Lee Escobar. I like your name. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm glad you
Uh,
look at me as one of the good Escobars.
that is right. There's a whole story behind
Yeah,
Escobars.
yeah, yeah.
And now, Lee, before we start our podcast today, are you at all related to Pitbull?
Pit bulls. I can
Is
say
that
that
your big brother?
that's about it.
I love
Yeah.
it. Don't this brother looks like Pitbull, man. So tell him the story about when you were on the plane, and tell him your Pitbull story real quick.
Oh yeah. So in my Christian walk, I walked away from God. I got caught up in money, got caught up in a lifestyle that we might bring up, but God redeemed me and brought me back. So, but during this time, this is actually when this happened. So I'm on a plane. I have some glasses on, kind of thin, and someone comes up to me and says, "Are you him? Are you him?" And here I am thinking, pride comes in. It's like, yeah, I'm him, Lee Escobar, that superstar. I've been on ABC, CBS, I've been on a whole bunch of TV channels, book coming out, been with Robert Kiyosaki, taught hundreds of seminars for 3 days, 8 hours a day. I said, finally making it. I'm finally making it. People are recognizing me. And he says, "Are you him?" I said, yeah, I'm him. And then he says, "Can I get your autograph?" I'm like, "Sure." So I went ahead and put on there Lee. And I'm thinking in my head, superstar Escobar, but I didn't put superstar on that one, Escobar. And then he looks at the autograph and says, "Lee Escobar, who's this?" I said, "That's me." He said, "Oh, I thought you were Pit Bull." So I went from superstar Escobar to fallen star Escobar immediately. So pride comes before a fall.
I love it. Well, Lee and I are going to talk for the next 30 minutes about passive income. We have an exciting initiative coming up that Lee has actually been part of helping to engineer. You're going to hear about Lee's journey, about how he went from being a real estate investor, entrepreneur, to being a teacher himself, and today he lives off of passive income. And so Lee has joined the Nehemiah Project to help you achieve that same objective. He'll be one of our passive income coaches and trainers as we go along. Actually, he's the elite. You're like the big dog on that thing. Lee is the guy who will be driving the ship in this. But let me tell you a bit about Lee before we get into it. I do want to read his entire resume because I want you to know the caliber of the person here. By the way, if you've not yet registered for the Passive Income Forum, it'd be Lee, the Benham Brothers, and others who are on this journey of passive income. Some of you guys already know Jason and David. And so go, there's a link that's going to be right there. You want to go register right now. It's a free event. It's a global forum on passive income. You can just register there right now as we speak. So Lee Escobar, he now lives in Seattle, Washington. He's established himself as a well-known serial entrepreneur and philanthropist. He successfully steered many ventures as president and CEO, including co-owning 2 award-winning restaurants and several real estate investment companies. Lee also has received a BA in theology with honors from Lee University in Cleveland. You're also studying for your you're almost done with your PhD right now, Lee.
Yeah, working on the DMin, Doctor of Ministry.
Doctor of Ministry. So soon we're going to be calling him Dr. Lee. All right. So after graduating, he started. Let me just skip that because he's doing that right now. He's also a chaplain in the Army Corps in the Army. Lee, first of all, man, thank you for your service. I know that yesterday was 9/11. People like yourself helped us as a nation to steer. Where were you 9/11, by the way, Lee?
9/11, I was sitting inside my house watching a TV show. I was already a chaplain candidate during that time.
Wow.
So when that took place, of course, I was actually headed to Atlanta that day. So
Yeah. Wow.
it's amazing
Wow.
how there's certain events in our lives that we just remember like yesterday,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow. Wow. Incredible. While serving in the Army Reserve, he aggressively invested in his own financial education in areas of real estate and business. Shortly after, he achieved what people consider financial freedom by buying, rehabbing a multi-family commercial building that produced enough cash flow to pay all his monthly bill. that was the beginning of his soldier journey. We mentioned soldier because we're also going to be releasing a book by Lee. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to have Lee come back to us. We're going to be that book. We're going to start doing pre-release or pre-sale at the Global Forum. So make sure you come because you're going to pre-order the book at reduced costs, and you want a copy of this book. And so that was the beginning of his soldier journey to becoming who he is today. Escobar has completed an impressive amount of real estate transaction over the last several years, and he continues to successfully build his portfolio throughout the United States. His credits of success, he credits his success to his initial and continued financial investment in his training and coaching. Let me read that again. That's so important. He credited his success to the fact that he invested in training and coaching, turning his success into a learning program. Lee has now taught the basic principle of financial freedom to thousands of students since 2006. Lee has personally mentored many people and created training courses which incorporate the newest and most cutting-edge real estate investment techniques. He's traveled into principles of wealth ethics in hundreds of cities and towns around the country. And soon, we're going to be taking Lee around the world as well so that we can work together there as well. He has a proven record as a successful investor. His experience in different businesses and his education background create a winning combination for any venture. Lee is a successful he's a successful investor, business owner, entrepreneur, and earned many prestigious awards. He's also, by the way, has been inducted into the Rich Dad International Hall of Fame. Lee, many people know Rich Dad. So, how do you get into that Hall of Fame? By the way,
Well, first of all, for those of you who are not familiar with that, that's Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and basically what happened was I invested initially almost $30,000 into an investment course. I'm learning how to invest in real estate. And I'm just being a good soldier. I'm doing what I was told when I was told without no debate, just following, the path they outlined for me. And pretty soon I was what they considered their poster child. They had me on infomercials because I was doing so many deals following their system. And then after that, with the accumulation of all those deals, then I got on Robert Kiyosaki's radar for the Entrepreneur Hall of Fame. And next thing I know, I was inducted. And
wow.
I never knew when I made that initial first investment into my education that all this would grow out of it. In fact, everything you just read came out of one investment that I started sitting in a room for 3 days saying, I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to become a real estate investor. So everything that you talked about about myself came from that. So it's amazing how one investment and one decision can forever change the trajectory of a person's life. And also,
that is incredible.
And also, I just want to make sure that everything that you read, that we all know in here, I give glory to God and to Jesus Christ for opening up those opportunities for me and for giving me the insight to find the right people at the right time.
Yeah. So we're going to get into that. So Lee, so today you are an investor also in Nehemiah Project. You made some investment with us. Thank you for that. We able to fulfill this mission because of investors like yourself. So you invest more than just in real estate and other things, but you also invest in kingdom projects that advances the gospel. Lee, so let's go back a bit. You didn't grow with a silver spoon. You take us back to Lee Escobar as a young boy. What was that kid dreaming about? Did he foresee this day? What were the circumstances of his environment? Was it predictable that he'll be the man he is today?
Well, we can always look back and see things that were like benchmarks or little monuments to who we're going to be in the future, if I want to use that word. And so, first of all, yeah, I wasn't born with a silver spoon. It might have been plastic. I don't know. But yeah. My parents got divorced when I was 5, and my mother joined the military. So my mom was a single mom raising 2 kids, and not easy kids. I'm easier now, but we were knuckleheads back then. All right. And I just I saw certain things in my life that I can look back as benchmarks or as, those little pillars in life that move you. One is I saw my mom suffer. I saw her go without food at times. That way me and my brother could eat. I saw my grandfather, who once was considered very wealthy in Puerto Rico, lose everything because he didn't understand contracts. And he had to come live with us. And he pretty much ended up passing away with less than $50 in his bank account. And at one point, me taking care of him. So I'm seeing all this throughout my life of what a lack of money will do. And I remember when I was younger, these other pillars were like, I would cut grass for people and make money, or I would sell things, and to me, it wasn't about being an entrepreneur. It was just, hey, I just want some extra income. I want to do something. I was always kind of attracted to that. Then it really hit the pinnacle when I was in high school. I would actually walk around and go through the neighborhood and get pre-orders to cut people's grass for $20. And I got my buddy who liked to work. I'd pay him 10 and I would keep the other 10. And all I had to do was stay in the air conditioner. And, I'd stay in the air conditioner while he worked and cut grass. And when the sun went down or when it was cool outside, I was out there getting pre-orders. And so I look at all those little benchmarks that happened and what happened in my life. And I look back and say, God was putting things in my life to become the entrepreneur that I am now. And one day I'm just basically, I'm running a restaurant. The door opened up for me to become a part owner. And I knew in my heart, I just knew that I needed more streams of income. It was just like something just intuitively said, I'm making pretty good money as a part owner, but that income won't last forever. It was just something intuitive. Wow. And I said, I need to have more streams of income. And I really wasn't reading books about making money. I was just a guy who kind of fell into certain things. And at that moment, I was like, I need to learn this stuff. I got a master's degree. I went to school. So I know I need to learn it. And so I went looking for a book. I went to the not to the library, but to Barnes and Nobles. For those of you who don't know, that's a bookstore, right?
Especially for millennials.
And I saw a big yellow book, and it was like shining bright, and it was like the sun, and it fit my personality. It said Investing for Dummies. And I knew that was me. So I bought the book, didn't understand anything that was going on. I just remember praying and saying, God, I need some help here. I don't understand anything. And that's when I saw an infomercial that brought me to a classroom that kind of loops back around to where we are here today.
Wow, that's incredible. Lee, if I was to talk to your mom, I'll say, did you ever imagine that young Lee? You talk about these building blocks, right? Because people are watching and listening to us. They want to be where you are. But their circumstances right now may not reflect it, obviously. But them knowing that despite that they were born for greatness, that they can do it. So I talked to your mom. I'll say, when you go back to little young Lee, what was it about that kid that could predict what's happened today? About that kid that would be unsatisfied with being a part owner of a restaurant and want more, that would go to the bookstore or to grab a book because he wants to learn. What was some of the characteristics that then was in you that propelled you forward in making those kind of decisions?
I believe my deepest why was my grandfather. Seeing him go from being on top to nothing and how be taken care of. And I didn't want to be a burden to my future family. I always told myself when I have kids, I have a family. I don't want my kids to take care of me like I had to take care of my grandfather. So there was this internal drive. And then I saw my mom going without suffering. And I wasn't wanting to make tons of money. I just wanted to make sure that I was in areas and around places where I could at least just be minimally okay. However, there's another characteristic of me that is God-given. And that is I want to be the best in everything I do. And I want to excel in everything I do. So if I see someone on stage speaking, I say, hey, I want to be a speaker. Or if I see someone flipping 30 houses, I want to flip 30 houses. So there's some about me that when I see that, I'm attracted to it and I want to do it. And there's something in me that just says, go do it and do your best. And I know it's a lack of education. So if I can do what they're doing, think like they think, act like they act, I can get there. So between what I saw in my past and also between that drive just to be the best in whatever I do, put those two together, and that combination, I guess, is the result that I'm here today.
Wow, that's awesome. Lee, you'd be proud of this. You ran some event for us in partnership with Life Surge. We learned some things from you. Our team 2 weeks ago applied some of the principles that we learned from you working with you in Oxlow's. they were able to generate in 1 week over $100,000 in sales
Wow.
from the things that we watch and saw, this whole process and so forth. So what's awesome is that what you've been able to do with just impacting the Nehemiah Project, right? Because we've never done that in one event, right? Prior to that. So that seed keeps going. So Lee, now, so you want to diversify, and by the way, Lee will be a speaker for us at the upcoming Global Investors Forum. If you've not yet signed up, we want to do that right now. Just go there and sign. It's free. So if you're silver, gold, diamond member, it's free for you. If you are not a member, it is $25, but you just want to be a member, $15 a month to be a member. You can just attend, no cost. To be myself, Lee, the Benham Brothers, and others that y'all two here. They'll be talking about their journey. Well, they'll be showcasing to you how to help you achieve passive income. Not only that, after the Global Forum, we're going to have a series of courses, beginning with Nothing But a Job Oil, and then the Passive Income Continuum. Within that, Lee will be teaching, and others as well. They're way ahead of me in that journey, so I'm the foundation. They're going to go, but you're going to get a chance also to have Lee coach you to achieve passive income, right? That's going to be the opportunity. So make sure you sign up. Click that button there and sign up and join us. So Lee, so you invested in coaching and training. You begin to get into real estate and restaurants and so forth. What has this financial freedom enabled you to do? When you think at it, obviously, one of the benefits, I've seen some of the cars you drive. I've seen, and you're highly generous as well. What has been the benefit of you achieving these objectives in terms of being able to be financially free?
The biggest benefit is just peace of mind. We live in a chaotic time, and we don't know what's happening with the economy, what's going on, and we don't know what's going to happen next. I once heard it said, you're either in a storm, about to go into a storm, or coming out of a financial storm. So it's one of those three. And just having that peace of mind, knowing that the skills I've acquired, the connections I've made, the grace that's been given to me, and the financial position that I've allowed to be in, is that it just gives peace. And I believe really that's what a lot of people are searching for, external and internal peace. And the other thing that it's given me is a recognition of how things are temporary. And what I mean by that is money will come in, but it'll also disappear. It'll go. And so money is like temporary. And to start really building bricks of things that will be eternal, that will last longer than my income coming in and out. The value of that for generations to come.
Wow, that is incredible. I love that, because money, the lack of money, tends to be the thing that keeps us from having the fulfillment that God has created us to realize, right? Mm-hmm. It robs us of our joy, our peace. That alone should be, that alone should be, because many times people die prematurely, get in trouble, whatever, just because they don't have the financial margins.
Right.
Isn't that interesting? That alone. But then on top of it, you have a beautiful daughter. Yeah. And I've just seen how much you invest in her. And it's, I know that that's enabled you to be a father to her, and be there for her when you choose to.
Right.
Versus the constraint of it. You've also done a lot for your mother. I know. I do want people to see that it's not just about what you've done for yourself. Right. You've helped a number of your family members as a result of. Are they like, thank God for that for you? Are they like saying, thank you, Jesus, that you raised this boy up?
Well, I'll say this. When I first started, my mom was against me. I remember I was going to make that first investment, even though I already had a restaurant, and that was cool for her. Because she used, her and my dad, before they get divorced, had a restaurant. So she understood that. She's like, okay, I get that. But then when I said I'm going to start investing in real estate and put money into education to learn, I remember when we were in the car, the first thing she said to me was, I'm not giving you $30,000. I'm not going to do this. And I'm like, that broke my heart, because it was like, here's the person I admire the most in life. She had to raise 2 kids on her own. She didn't speak English very well. She went to the Army as a private. She retired as a major in the United States Army. And here's my hero, like slapping me down, telling me no. And this just became my dream. And I remember I was upset at her. And I remember we did talk and we did talk. So there's ups and downs through it. But then I remember the first time you start sending them checks or giving them money. I mean, not like, it wasn't like real checks. I mean, it was like the pictures of the checks, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't send my mom. So it's $30,000 here, 20,000. I said, this is real. Look what's happening. And then she says, oh, I knew you could do it, son. I'm like, really? I'm like, I went through all this. We didn't talk really. But the thing about it was that ignited a fire underneath me to say, you know what? I'm going to prove to my mom that, yes, it can be done. I know what's in my heart is the right thing. I know it. And no matter if anyone else understood it or not, I was going to pursue it. So now she's proud of me. I remember a few months ago, and I don't say it's to brag, but just to inspire. She was talking about how, man, she's like, I can't remember how much it was, but she was like $8,000 or $10,000 short of paying off her car. We were just talking. And I remember I just went inside my room, wrote a check out. This was like a few weeks ago, and paid off her car for her. And it was like 10,000 or 8,000, something like that. But the freedom, just be able to just go in there and write a check, be like, here you are. Or you know, there's been many times people will see other people say, I wish I had money. I wish that I could just write a check for $4,000 to that charity or 10,000 to that charity. And to be able to actually do that is humbling, and to be put in that position. And one thing I've learned about money, one of the fears that people have is if, you know, what if I lose myself making money? And the biggest way to not lose yourself is to always be a giver. Because when you give, you see how it's just temporary, as opposed to hoarding it and holding on to it. Whenever we do that, that starts to sow seeds of selfishness. And that selfishness then turns into other stuff that isn't moving us forward to where we need to go. So just always constantly giving and helping other people, and realizing that our money, our income, and I like what the Benham Brothers say, that income is for impact. The reason why we make money is for impact, to impact the world, to help people, not just to keep it for ourselves. And that's what passive income can do, you know, because when a person has passive income, they have a sense of freedom where they don't have to work. So now they have more time to take care of their family, to do other things, to follow through on other ventures. So those have been some of the joys that I've been able to pick up from passive income.
Oh, that's so neat. I mean, to talk to mom. And what's also interesting is this idea that when you start that journey, whether it's starting a business or do something very untraditional, like building investment towards passive income, is that the people that are close to you may not get it, right? And you've got to have that internal passion and drive, because it does require investment. It does require you to think differently, and they're not used to that.
And here's what I've learned. Sorry. The reason why they don't understand it is because it's not their vision.
You got it.
That's it. And when it's not their vision, people can't really see what's going on. So what we have to realize is that when the people are against us, it's not they care about us. It's not that they're hating on us necessarily. We could interpret it that way, but it's not their vision. When we see it, realize this is my vision that was God given to me, then we can stand firm.
And sometimes they're trying to protect you, right? In their mind.
Yeah, in their mind.
Even in their mind, they're trying to protect you. Listen, sign up today, September 29th. Lee will be one of our speakers at the Passive Income Forum. He's actually going to do a breakout, and you want to experience Lee and just teach them this stuff. Lee's going to do a little teaser for us today before we wrap up. But before we do, though, we're going to have Lee come back and talk about this book, but I want to just give you a highlight of some of the stuff. Lee has a book that we're going to be releasing soon called Rich Warrior. And it's actually part of a series. This is going to be part of a series. And so the book is the forward is done by Robert Kiyosaki. And he defined Rich Warrior, and then he gets into evaluate, where we're starting the process of customizing the plan for your mission. And then he gets into evolve, where you're moving towards an awareness of the tools you will want and need to accomplish your mission. And then educate. He goes into learning the external strategy and techniques and internal wealth ethics to accomplish the mission. And then implement the knowledge and insight to execute your plan to precision. This is a rich book. We're going to have to come back when the book is getting released to talk more about it. But again, September 29th is when Lee will be with us for the Global Forum. You want to be a part of that so you can get more of Lee. So Lee, you got a little teaser for us. So 3 to 5 minutes, just teach us a little bit. So what can we expect to learn, not only at the Global Forum, but as we now take your passive income courses? What can we expect to learn if we're being coached by Lee Escobar?
Great question. So first of all, let me share this little slide because I know there's some people out there who are visual. And what we should see on the screen now is something that says context and content. So the first of all, when it comes, context is like a coffee cup. So imagine a coffee cup. Content is the stuff, the information that goes inside the cup. So what happens is most people's context isn't correct. Like, for example, if you were to put hot coffee in no cup, you're going to burn your hand. So some people want the information, but they don't have the cup to hold it. Or sometimes they have the wrong cup, which would be an example of maybe someone has a white plastic cup that is real thin. They put hot coffee, you still burn yourself. Or some people have a good solid cup, which is the context, but they have cracks in it, and therefore the information seeps out. So first of all, we have to establish what's the context to what we're learning. Then we add the content into it. So in other words, what's our beliefs about money? Why do we want passive income? Where are we at in our journey? So one of the things that we do is we evaluate. So if you go back and look at the book, the first thing is, where am I? Because once we know where we are, we evaluate ourselves. All right. And once we evaluate ourselves, then we evolve. And evolve means, wait a minute, I need to change. I need to do something different. And then we educate by pouring in the content. And then when we pour in the content, which is the information, then we can execute. We can move forward and actually get it done. And if you notice, that series of E's fits in every business. First of all, hey, I need to evaluate my business. What's going on right now? Wait a minute. We got to stop doing what we were doing and do something new. We need to evolve. Well, if I knew how to do it, I'd already be doing it. So now I need to educate myself and get the information. The problem with information is that we forget like 80% of what we hear, 90% of what we read. So that's why we have coaches and mentors, and we learn more by doing. And so a person has a choice, either do alone or they can do it with help. And for me, I've chosen to do it with help because it avoids all the catastrophes, disasters that take place, especially when you're dealing with passive income. Because when you're dealing with apartment buildings or commercial or things of that nature, we're moving into millions of dollars. And so again, some of you might say millions of dollars. That's because the context isn't right. So if someone freaks out about $1 million, it's because the context isn't right. So we have to change the context, change the cup. So when we put in the information on how to build passive income, the individual then says, you know what, now I get it, because the information matches who they are or what they now believe. So that we're going to go into a lot of context to change some of beliefs about that. Then we're going to move into what I call financial safety. And what I mean by that is it's called income linking. Income linking is basically a strategy that I've kind of put together, which is how to stay safe. So we have active income. Active income is working a job. The problem with active income is this, is if active income stops, a person has no money. That's what a job will do. Or even like myself, I really didn't understand the value of passive income until COVID hit, because I was so addicted to the active income. Like, oh, let me go make 20 grand real quick. Let me make 30 grand real quick. Let me make 100 grand this month. And we forget the freedom that comes from passive income. Well, when COVID hit, because that income stopped, then I understood the value of passive income. And that passive income had me feel a sense of safety and had me feel a sense of joy, because like, you know what? I don't need to keep pursuing the money. If the money stops, I have money coming in that pays my bills. And I've been teaching passive income for years and years, but I didn't understand. I had a head knowledge, but I didn't have a hard knowledge. There's just something that happens when an idea goes from the head to the heart. It becomes more real. And then when the active income was taken away, I was like, now I know what Robert is talking about. Now I know what I've been teaching at a different level. And I was like, I don't even want to pursue active income anymore. I just want to stay at home, read my Bible, pray. I just want to do things with my daughter. I just want to do everything that I couldn't do because I was working all the time. But then I remember I was praying and God said, well, you got to go out there and help other people. So you're going to stay active. I was like, when do I retire? Or when do I stop? And I felt God telling me, whenever I stop giving you ideas.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, whatever you say, let's go. And so the point is, though, the problem is that people try to shoot for passive income first, but they have no active income to do passive income. So the goal is generate active income to generate the cash to put to the down payment of your passive income properties or your passive income deals or businesses, and then go freedom from that. So the goal is it's a process. Some people say, I want passive income. They try to get one rental property. They put $100,000 as an example to get $200 a month. But the problem is, how many of those do they need to get? They need hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we do active income first to generate cash. We build those relationships with banks and with lenders, which we'll talk about. Then we take the cash and we borrow money to put it for the down payment. And there's safety in borrowing. A lot of people say, is borrowing good or bad? Well, I tell them, well, is fire good or bad? Is water good or bad? And the answer is, it depends how it's being used. So the wisdom that comes from passive income is this: how do I use money the right way? So then we're going to discuss how to use money the right way, how to look at it from a place of safety, from a business point of view, not from a personal point of view. There's something called good debt and bad debt. So thankful for Robert teaching me this. Bad debt basically is this: you borrow money and you got to pay for it out your own pocket. Good debt is we borrow money and our tenants, our business partners, and other people pay the debt for us. And then whatever's left over is called profit. And when a person realizes that profit basically means all the money that's generated after all the expenses, then logically it's like that money's free.
Lee, there's so much more for you to cover. But listen, you're going to have to enroll. Okay, cover that real quick before we wrap up. Real quick. Interest income.
Interest income. So what happens is now, so active income is now money. Passive income is like middle money. And then so that helps us where we don't have to work if things go wrong. And these all interplay together. It's like a wheel within a wheel. It interplays with each other because they keep us protected. And then interest income might be loaning out money, because so instead of having all that money sitting inside of a bank account that's coming in from active income, passive income, all right, and losing money because of inflation in a savings account, then we take that money, we loan it out to other people at 8, 10, 12% return, something that's higher than what the bank account is getting. Because really, if you think about it, it's just simple math. If inflation is 6, 7%, I'll just throw a number, 7%, and a bank only gives you 1%, that means a person is losing 6% on their money a year. So they're putting money into a savings account to purposely lose money. So this is content, right? Context. Now, once we build the context, we can put in the content, which is how do we get interest income? How do we get passive income? How do we do active income? Now, I will say this. That's why this is a journey. This is not, if someone wants to be completely safe, it's not an overnight thing. It's a journey. So the sooner we start, the sooner we can make this happen, the sooner we're creating wealth. And the good news is, when people are following mentors and coaches, like I've learned, some people say, well, I'm not where you're at, Lee. I'm not where. That's okay. Good. Because I've already fought the good fight before you. So now we can actually go and connect the dots faster and quicker, so those behind us can speed up the process. And now we're using our income for impact.
This is incredible. Listen, that book is coming out. Lee, this is in the book, right?
Yes.
Oh my Lord, Rich Soldier. Listen, you can't buy it yet. It's coming out, but come to the forum, because at the forum you're gonna get to pre-order the book. You're gonna get a chance to attend Lee's breakout to learn this stuff, and you're also gonna get a chance to be coached by Lee. There's so much more that Lee got to share, but I do have to say something for y'all to pay for. Lee's so generous, right? If I let Lee go on, he'll like keep going and listen. But we're gonna have more Lee. This is, isn't it nice that he's one of us? He's part of our family. Somebody, the producer said that was so good. That was so good. I want to shout, Lee, you blew my mind.
And that's just the context. That's the glass. We
haven't gotten to the content. Oh my Lord!
Feel it next level.
I love it. I love it. Lee, don't leave yet, because I want one more advice from Lee. So if you want to know more about the Nehemiah Project, and you say, look, I want to come alongside this journey with Nehemiah so that I can take my kingdom business to the next level. I can learn about passive income. I can diversify my portfolio. Go to NehemiahEcommunity.com. There you can learn about our training program, our coaching program, our access to capital program, where you can join this community that is where we can transform the world together, right? If you need to change your mindset, your heart, content, change your context. So if you need coaches come alongside you, people have been there, done that. If you need a community of entrepreneurs that can walk alongside you and access to capital, go to NehemiahEcommunity.com. Also, if you enjoy this podcast, share it. Listen, friends share with friends. Put it on your Twitter, put it on your LinkedIn, put it on your Facebook. Share with others. Say, I met this guy named Lee Escobar, and he's gonna blow your. That's Lee's line, by the way. He's gonna blow your mind. Listen, Lee over promises. Under promises and over delivers. It's just one of many. All right. So stay tuned. So share this with others so they can get this insight, this context. Um, so Lee, before we close, there are people watching and listening from all over the world, and they may be asking the question. All right, Lee, you gave us context. What's one content that you can give us as we wrap up here today, Lee, that anybody can apply, no matter whether they're in Africa, they're in Europe, they're in Asia, they're in North America, wherever they are? What's like one content that they can apply?
That's like a complex question, because content goes from step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So if I give step 1, sometimes step 2, then we'll be here for a long time. However,
give us step 1. Give us step 1.
But I will give you one step of content here.
Yeah.
One of the things is borrowing money, I should say, for our passive income activities. And so there are ways that a person can actually get money without having a credit score, without having a lot of, with a lot of resources. And the thing is, they have to have a good idea and know how to present it. So where people fail at is they'll go up to someone with money and say, hey, I got this great idea. Can I borrow 20 grand? The person's like, no, because anyone who has that type of money has to see it works. So if you want to start borrowing money and get people to follow your idea, actually create a packet. And in that packet, you have, like, number 1, your history, a summary of who you are. Start saving all your deals and transactions. They can see your history in there. All right. Also, on top of that, always have a breakdown of the actual project, and say, okay, so this is what's coming in. These are the income. These are the expenses. These are the assets. These are the liabilities. Keep it really simple. And then, hey, by the way, if you want to go deeper with it, here's a line by line breakdown. So actually have something that you can turn into them, that you can show them, because people with money want to see that you know what you're doing with their money. And the more you can prove it, the more likely they're going to say yes. We'll go deeper into creating what we call a private lender packet or a credibility packet, which you can use for any business, especially when it comes to borrowing money. There's 2 things that Robert taught me, and I found to be true. If a person knows how to do sales and they can raise capital, they can have any business that they want. They can do anything that they can do. Get people to believe in your ideas and be able to get the money for it. Make those 2 happen. A person's on the right trajectory. So the idea is credibility packet.
And that's just one content. Listen, register today for the upcoming Global Investors Forum on September the 29th. You'll have Lee Escobar and many others that will be a part. You'll get a chance to attend a private breakout with Lee, where you can learn more of this and begin that journey towards passive income. Lee, first of all, thank you for your willingness. There's a lot more we can talk about. I know that you've made an intentional decision to be more intentional about the kingdom. That's why you're with us, to give back what you've learned from the world and what you've been able to even in your case, forego higher income opportunities because of the kingdom impact that you want to really make. You reached out to me several months ago and said, Patrice, I want to invest because I want to see this work. I'll never forget that. And because, so you put your money where your mouth is, because you want to see a kingdom alternative to what you help many others do out there in the world, because you want to see Christian truly become financially free. So we're going to have Lee come back so that we can talk about this book that's going to be releasing. But for now, September 29th, visit our website, nehemiahecommunity.com, press that link, sign up, and join us at the upcoming Investors E-Community Passive Income Forum. With that, let me pray for you as we release you now today. Father, we thank you so much for those who are watching and listening from around the world. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents that are under your care, and to steward them in such a way that one day you will hear those wonderful words, just like the Escobar. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Guess what? he'll now make you rule over much. God bless you. Have a great day and a wonderful week.